and welcome to What Mandy Made Next. Today is Monday the 21st of April 2025 and today is actually a bank holiday in the UK. So for those of you who celebrate, I hope you've enjoyed your Easter. So let's have a look at my planner for April. I was meaning to share this with you at the beginning of April, but you know, things get in the way. But let's start with Tuesday, which is my cross stitch, and I've been working on the vintage farmhouse. So this pattern was designed by Lori Pengally, and I accessed this pattern through the Primitive Quilts and Projects magazine. I think it was the summer edition. However, I think you can actually buy this pattern on its own now. So if you Google in the vintage farmhouse, that should take you to the pattern. Right, I'm working this on a Cuore linen. So I think this is 28 count. So this is how far I've got now. So I've been working on this border here and I've started working on the farmhouse. So let me show you the threads I've been using, because I've been loving working with these threads. So most of them are a mixture of Weeks Dye Works and Classic Colour Works. But when I've been working on the farmhouse chimney, I've been using two of the Weeks Dye Works colours. It's Cattail and Pebble, and let me just show you the variation in these colours. I'll show you a photograph, it'll be better really. But yeah, I've been loving working on it, I really have. So I'll show you a before photograph and where I'm up to now, a progress picture. Yeah, so like I say, this is a 28 count Cuore linen, and it was just some I purchased from Hobbycraft, and I'm really pleased with how it's turning out. In fact, I think I'd stitch on this again. That's my vintage farmhouse, and it's living in this lovely project bag I made. Right, okay. So the next one was my cross stitch, and as you can see, it's in yellow. It's called Hawks Run Hollow and it's by Carriage House Samplings. Now I've had to put that on hold because I thought I'd run out of a thread. Well, I had run out of it. I'm stitching it in DMC. But when I went in my craft room, I actually found in my stash the thread I required. So I shall be able to pick that back up. But in the meantime, I have started my sunflower farm. So this is living in this lovely project bag I made. This is a pattern by Cuore e Batticuore, and I'm working this on a 28 count DMC linen. It was a scrap I had. You may recall I stitched the Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs, and I had this left over, so here we go. I've just started that. This is all being stitched in DMC. They're not the call for colours. I have substituted quite a few, just really from my stash. So I'll show you the colours. I made my own floss drops, so I'll turn them over and you can see, there we go, beautiful, aren't they? So I'm really looking forward to stitching on this again. I can say that when I downloaded the pattern, because I bought this pattern off Etsy, when the pattern comes, it says Sunflower Farm, but there's also the option to stitch Sunflower Farm, those words, in either, I think it's Italian or French. So I think I might, you know, I'm toying with the idea of stitching the words in Italian because it is an Italian designer. I think it's Italian anyway. I'll have to find out. So on Wednesday I like to work with wool, and I've got a finish, and this might explain why I'm lagging with some of my projects, because once I started knitting I couldn't stop. So this is a pattern called Lamb Dance, and I access this off the Drops Design website, but I think it's the website's called Garn Studio, but if you search for Drops Knitting Design, it should come up. Okay, so this is the finished article. Oh, I love this. I'm so pleased. Now I knit a larger size. She'll be 5 this year, and this, I think this is a 7-year-old's size, 7 to 8. But the reason I knit this bigger is because there's such a lot of work gone into it. I want it to fit it for quite a while. So this is knit top down. So what I did is I hand knit all the yoke. So right up to just below the fence here is all hand knit. I'll show you the back. Isn't it lovely? I'll undo it a bit and you can see the floats. I usually knit my floats every 3 stitches. I usually try to catch them, so it's not too bad. Now on the pattern you actually knit the button and buttonhole bands as you're knitting the yoke. So you do 5 stitches garter stitch, then you're knitting the yoke, and then 5 stitches again for the buttonhole band. Let me just, I think I made a mistake with these buttons, they're catching a little bit. Right, there we go. So I hand knit the yoke, and when I got to where I split off for the sleeves and the fronts, that's when I transferred the knitting to my knitting machine. So as you know, I've got an LK, I think it, oh, forgot the number now, but I'll pop it in. So it's a flatbed knitting machine, and because it's double knitting and upwards, that's the wool you use on it. There's not a lot of needles, so there's no way it would have taken this yoke, you see. So that's why I've hand knit it. Well, one of the reasons. So when I came to split off, okay, I just worked out how many stitches would be for the front. And then, you know, usually you increase your cast on for under the arm. Well, all I did was added 4 stitches on, you see. So 1 for seaming and 3 for underarm. Same for that front, just knit it up. And then for the back, I did 4 either side extra stitches. And then I just mattress stitched up the side. So I don't think that's too bad. I don't think the seaming's too bad. So yeah. And then I obviously I knit up the sleeves, and then I hand knit the ribs. And then what I did is I garter stitched the button bands, and instead of 5 stitches I knit 6, and then I mattress stitched them to the main body. So when I was knitting this, the sleeves did seem a lot longer than the body, and I was thinking, oh dear, what's going on now? But when I looked at the pattern, that's how the design is. So yeah, I'm really happy, and I love the rib. It's a 2x2, and I think it's worked out okay. So I've used these little, I might change that button, it looks like it might catch. But these are little rose buttons. I bought a whole load of them from the range. So yeah, get them used up. So that's my lamb dance. Really pleased how that's turned out, and I can't wait to go to my daughter's and present her with it. Right, so I've also commenced a crochet project. Now my eldest daughter has asked me to crochet a cardigan because they're all the vogue at the moment, aren't they? So I had a little practice and did some different granny squares. But then I saw this tutorial, and I think it's called the Sunburst Granny Square, and it was Crochet Me Lovely. I'll pop a link into her YouTube channel because she really explained it well, and this is one of the completed squares. So my daughter is a winter colouring, and what I mean by that is, you may recall in the 80s it was very prevalent then that we looked at what colours we were wearing, and it's divided into the 4 categories, the 4 seasons. Now I'm an autumn colouring, and if you look back at my vlogs, I'll pop a link into it down below. I actually talk about the seasons colouring, but all my daughters have got 3. They're all different colourings as well. So my youngest is spring, my middle daughter Carly is summer, and then my eldest is winter, and I'm an autumn. So yeah, it's funny because when I go shopping with them, I'll say, well, this colour will suit you, and they'll say, you know, Mum's right, you know, and I'll think, yes, because you're this colouring this season. So let's have a look at how many I've made. So these will be the winter colours, what will suit Cheryl. So I think they're lovely. I'm going to do different colours. It's just that I was working with those particular colours. But yeah, these are all out of scrap yarn. I've got quite a few balls of double knitting black. So yeah, I don't think it'll matter. I think I've used 2 different types of black, you know, from different companies. I think one's Stylecraft and one's Patons, but yeah, I think it's okay. So we'll see how we go. My intention is to, when I've got enough, is to lay them out, crochet them together, and then crochet some rib, and we should have a cardigan. So hopefully next time, well, let's say the end of May, it should be near completion. So that's my crochet project. On a Thursday I like to work on a whip go project, so I'll show you my whip go board, and you'll see it's all coloured in green because I've kept on working on a particular project. So yeah, I'm really up to date. So numbers 4 and 10, I think it was 10, 4 and 10 were called for April. So number 10 is my chicken feed sack. So this is designed by Carriage House Samplings. I first saw this on Country Stitches. I think it was Deb had stitched this one, and I thought, oh, I like that. And then when I went onto the website and saw this, I thought, no, this is the one I want to stitch first. So this is being stitched on a 32 count Belfast linen. I got the linen from a charity shop. It's only 2 colours that I'm using. So these are the call for DMCs. I'll show you what it was like before I started working on it this time. This is where I'm up to now. So yeah, it's shaping up. So I'll show you a progress photo as well. and then you can see how much I've worked on it. So my next Whip Go project is the cliffside beacon. I'll show you a photograph. I'm still working on that at the moment, and unfortunately I've left it upstairs in my craft room. But yeah, I'm still want to get some more stitches in that, and I'll show you that next time I speak to you. So my big news is about my latest quilt. So you may recall, and I think it was a couple of years ago now, that I'd signed up to a block of the month facilitated by Liberty Bell, and it was working on a quilt called the Riverside Knoll, designed by Kim DL, and it was using her fabric range Writer's Rain. So what happened is well, like everything else, I fell behind badly. And then last summer I got it pieced up all ready, and then I went on holiday, and you come back with all different things, don't you? And I just didn't have the drive to get this quilt basted. So anyway, I thought I'm going to input it into my planner, and I'm going to get this quilt basted up and start quilting it. And I've done it. So here we are. It's all quilted up now. There's only the binding now to sew on. I've used a mixture of free motion quilting and also some straight lines. Well, I used my walking foot for that. So thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this vlog, please give me a thumbs up, a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. So next time I vlog, I intend to show you how I basted and quilted the Riverside Knoll quilt. Until then, happy crafting, bye!